Jacob Parkinson. Was in the Marine Corps Infantry from 97 to 09. So a lot of the dudes from 9/11 that joined up because of 9/11, I led into combat, so it was a pleasure and daunting experience at the same time. Marine Infantry is just, everything's just your frontline guys. But when you take it to the next level of Marine Infantry, which becomes specialized and they become MARSOC Raiders, and you're going to hear something, just to give it into context later, Staff Sergeant John Wayne is going to get something presented in a little bit, and he's a MARSOC Raider, so that just took it to a whole new level. So just to give you appreciation when his turn comes up, he's just a whole different level of infantry. So, but for me, I was just your basic grunt, as we're called. And since this is a PTSD Awareness Day and Month, we're going to read from, it's called Afterthoughts, and it's done by veterans. It's published veterans from the West Fork Public Library Press. They get a grant, I don't know from where, but every so often veterans get together and they publish their stuff. And from what I've heard, every one of you could be published. Yes, be some great poetry. So if you get with West Fork Public Library Press, and they do a collection every once in a while, they'll publish the veteran stuff. So the first one is called Ode to the Listeners. And this is dedicated to all the clinicians and therapists that help us out. My readers. They listen without judgment or reprisal from their bland government-issued desk. These unnoticed listeners provide support, encouragement, solace, escape, and protection. We, the veterans, complain, decompress, vent, rant, cry, isolate, and deflate all before them. Yet there is no disgust or fear from the listeners. The listeners are steadfast. The listeners are steadfast and unwavering in their care for us, the walking wounded. The listeners absorb all of our troubles, trauma, crises, and the most detrimental of all, our hopelessness and our despair. We leave their presence after dumping our fears, regrets, shame, experiences, and guilt onto those shoulders of iron. What becomes of those stoic listeners at the end of the trying day? Who is there to listen to them at day's end, for they are bound by confidentiality? Who consoles those compassionate listeners when the day's absorption of trauma overwhelms their brave levies? No allowance for relief or decompression. The listeners must do what they plead for us veterans never to do. Compartmentalize, there we go. And when the dreaded happens and that somber call comes forth to the listener, one of their warriors has fallen, succumbing to their battle against the ever-present hopelessness. The listener's sacred desire to save is shattered. That is the listener's biggest fear, that lonely, dreaded call. The listeners fight day and night, never wavering in this battle to save us wounded. From the unrelenting darkness and our self-defeating manifestations. Who puts a comforting hand on the listener and compassionately begs forward, move forward. Remember the past, but move forward. Do not despair. There is still hope. Please believe me. Who sits with the listeners in an office and comforts them as a ghost of another fallen warrior? Drifts to the surface and eases through the cracks in their gallant brave armor. The listener, unable to use their formidable skills to keep the loss at bay, succumbs to that tidal wave of grief quietly, privately. No, the listener must do this alone, without a comforting hand. They will never quit, even against the most dreaded of odds, those stoic listeners. Round after round, round after round, round after round, until the day is finally over, only to repeat the next. Who are these people? These selfless, brave listeners. We veterans call them docs, clinicians, therapists, nurses, and social workers. But most of all, we call them angels, we troubled veterans leave and walk away with a rushed and haggard "Thanks, Doc." Our heads down, walking away, back turned. We know you wonder in the dark recesses, will you see us again? I give this promise to you, our listener, you will. So, that's ode to the listener. And then this last one is for, dedicated to any mother of an infantry, Army, or Marine soldier, Marine. It's called That Sparkle. I remember when you were just a little thing, running buck naked in the backyard, not a care in the world. Even when you ran headfirst into the cactus with all that crying and caterwauling, you had the sparkle in your eyes, son. I don't know what it was, but as I said, my old poor baby, and tried to console you in your pain, that sparkle made me realize, my son, that you were destined for great, beautiful things. The loving mother looks upon her grown Marine. He does not answer. Her Marine remains stoic and reserved. Do you remember that time and you hit the in the park home run in Little League? There is no reply for the frail, loving mother. No? Well, I do. You were so fast turning those little bases. The other parents all looked at me with astonishment as you ran like a West Texas jackrabbit, only to be called out at home plate. I was so upset, as any proud mother would be, but I didn't have to get up and argue. Before I knew, the other parents had stormed the field with the coach, surrounding that poor umpire with a bunch of expletives. The loving mother emits a tiny, tired chuckle into the gray, quiet, troublesome day. You came storming over to the dugout with the maddest little face. All you said to me through the chain link fence was, "I was safe, Mama." And there was that wonderful sparkle flashing with an intense little anger, but it persisted. I was so proud of you in that moment, son. I just knew you were destined for great, beautiful things. He does not answer. Her Marine remains stoic and reserved, staring into a dark void that only he can see. The fall nip in the air bites into the frail woman's old bones as she wraps her coat tighter around her small torso. Do you remember your last track meet, regionals? Her Marine still offers no response. I do. It was one of the few I could get to. You ran the fastest split on the team. I loved watching you run, son. You were so graceful with your speed, but ran with an unbridled intensity. It was you against everyone who said you couldn't keep up. You loved proving people wrong with your unexpected speed. As your number one supporter, I enjoyed seeing their shocked face expressions. You made me so proud. You always made me proud, son. You came off the track beaming, your coach and teammates all patting you on the shoulders. It was then I saw that sparkle in your eyes from across the football field. I can never miss my boy's sparkle. My son is destined for great, beautiful things. My only prideful thought. He does not answer. Her Marine remains stoic and reserved, the only way he knows. His bearing never wavers. I remember the night you came and told me you're leaving for the Marine Corps. Do you? The older woman looks about, hoping for an answer that does not arrive. No? I was working the night shift at the Postal Center, and the security guard had to come grab me and tell me I had a visitor. It was almost midnight, son. Remember? She pauses for a second, trying to garner the strength to continue the memory. I was so scared as I walked out the front door into the pitch black night, and you were smiling from ear to ear. You felt as if you were answering some deep instinctual calling, a calling no mother can stop, no matter how hard we try. I'm leaving for the Marines. I'm gonna make you so proud, Mama. And there it was, that magnificent sparkle in your eyes, on fire with intense pride. I watched you disappear into the night, become an infantry Marine. A mother's tears fell in that lonely, dark parking lot, son. I knew you were destined for great, beautiful, and horrible things. He does not answer. Her Marine remains stoic and reserved, the only way he knows. His emotions vacated long ago. He feels nothing, not even the bitter cold. The day you left the Marines, I thought, finally, my boy is coming home. You were leaving just in time. The war on terror was beginning for our country. That night you came to visit all those years ago, I knew something was amiss, my son. A mother always knows. You told me the Marines called you back, and you were going to war. Every mother's worst fear. My world stopped then, son. I truly didn't know if I'd be able to speak. And then I saw that sparkle in your eyes filled with calling, duty, bravery, and rage. A mother stood no chance against that passion and longing for honor and service. You tried to reassure me that you were too good a squad leader to die, and you would be home soon. That spark in your eye was a raging forest fire, and it scared me, my son. My only thought was, my son is destined for horrible, brutal things. He does not answer. Her Marine remains stoic and reserved, letting his broken mother's words fill the surrounding air with heavy, solemn confession. You kept your word, my boy. You came home, and yet what came home was not the boy I pulled from the cactus, not my little leader, not where my track star, and not even my boot camp honor man who never stopped smiling on that graduation day. No, what came home was a tired, worn, reluctant, displaced young man who didn't know if he belonged. Who didn't know if he belonged here in the land of the living or with the fallen warriors left behind on the battlefield. My beautiful boy, aged well beyond his years. Do you remember when your sister and I came to visit when you arrived back at base? There remains nothing but solemn silence from the steadfast Marine. No, we surely do. It was instantaneous. When your sister and I laid our tearful, joyous eyes on you, we froze. Your petrified sister whispered to me, "That's not Jake anymore, Mama." I looked upon you, my son, with all the motherly intuition and love humanly possible, and I saw that sparkle. That glimmer of hope, promise, humor, understanding, and compassion was gone. Your eyes were vacant, cold and dark. Your sparkle was extinguished by hate, anger, grief, sorrow, and the most damaging, regret. I almost died that day, my beautiful boy. And the only horrible thought, I have lost my son forever. As I latched onto you for a hug that seemed so forced from you. My son, you wanted no part of being home, and I should have realized then that you will never truly be home. I never saw that bright, gorgeous sparkle in your eyes again. Oh, my baby boy, you did such great and beautiful things. Your men still send me stories of your time together over there. It makes me wonder, did your men ever get to see that joyous sparkle in your eyes? To know under your guidance and watch, they would be okay? Did your sparkle give them solace and courage for what must come next? I hope it did, my son. He does not answer. Her Marine remains stoic and reserved, waiting for his visitor to finish her sentiments, like all others who come to see him. The small, frail older woman then slowly stands, pushing herself up with the assistance of the cold, smooth granite tombstone. She wraps the scarf around her neck, tighter to fight off the bitter frost of the day. The doting mother looks down lovingly at the military grave marker. Then she rests her fragile, bony hand gently atop the chiseled memorial. Her tears fall upon the cold, hardy stone and shimmer in the pale light. I hope you found your sparkle again and are seeing such great, beautiful things. Rest easy, my son.